Okay, let's start. So welcome in particular Leon and Holly at this pre-visit briefing for the AMR Innovation Mission UK 2022, taking place on 15 to 20 May of this year. It's our pleasure to welcome you, especially on behalf of Innovate UK and Innovate UK Edge, the organizers together with AMR Insights of this very special mission. What I said earlier is that this morning we had by far most participants, overseas participants and non-UK participants. So this is going to be a small team. This pre-visit briefing is especially to inform you about the backgrounds, to inform you about Innovate UK, to inform you about the backgrounds of this mission and why do we organize this mission, something about the program in more detail, and also about the matchmaking program and the B2Match platform we are going to use to facilitate the matchmaking sessions. My name is Maarten van Dongen, AMR Insights. I will also tell you a little bit more about AMR Insights later on. And I suggested we start with a short introductory round. And it's my pleasure to invite our two guests for today to very shortly introduce themselves. And Holly, if I may start with you.
Yes, my name is Holly Akwa. I currently work for the International Vaccine Institute. The headquarters is based in Seoul, South Korea. I'm an epidemiologist by training, but my PhD is in antimicrobial resistance, so that's my area of specialty. At IVI, or International Vaccine Institute, I'm working there as a research scientist responsible for One Health technical lead, trying to link the human, the animal, and the environmental component of AMR. As I discussed with Martin, we are not a company, we're a non-organization institution, mainly trying to develop vaccines for low and middle income countries. But recently, IVI has also taken on the mandate of antimicrobial resistance, and we are looking to seek for partners, particularly leveraging modern technology, AI, to see how we can reach out to LEMICs in order to address this issue, particularly in countries with weaker systems. So one of my interests is to seek out partners that can collaborate with us at IVI to achieve this goal of AMR containment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Holly, for your introduction. And well, this looks great. I mean, in view of the objectives of the mission, we'll come to back to that later. Leon, can you also briefly introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Leon Babakanyan. I'm from Asalva here in Southern California. We make antimicrobial stewardship software for hospitals. A lot of what we do is here in the United States, and we are looking to expand overseas. So we're looking for partners who could be either researchers or government agencies who are interested in getting data reported to them. Our specialty is aggregating data from various data sources at hospitals and making sense of it so that a clinician can do their daily work and then also measure their antibiotic use and resistance historically.
Okay, thank you, Leon, and great to hear about also the work Asalva is doing. I'm anyhow interested to learn more about your company, your products, also outside the scope of this mission. So I will anyhow schedule a one-to-one matchmaking session with you.
Thank you.
That you know.
Looking forward to it.
Let's continue. Craig, can you very briefly introduce yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Craig. I work for Innovate UK Edge, which is the business support arm of Innovate UK. I'll talk about all of it later.
Thank you. Bita?
Trying to unmute myself. Hi everyone, my name is Bita. I also work with Craig at Innovate UK Edge. I'm one of the business advisors. Lovely to see you here today, and you'll hear more from me in a bit.
Thanks, Bita. And then last but not least, Joanna.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna. So I'm a data analyst at in the health and life sciences sector in Innovate UK, and you'll hear more about Innovate UK from Phil.
Okay, thank you. And not last but not least, it's Phil. I forgot you.
Don't worry, I'll pick up when you introduce me again in a second, Martin.
So please, Phil, you get an extra bonus in a minute to introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Shall I just wait until I start my slides?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil.
That's
This is the agenda, what I said, a brief introduction about Innovate UK by Phil Packer, backgrounds of the mission program, the matchmaking program, some miscellaneous issues, and then the Q&A part. And now, Phil, I'm going to invite you to introduce yourself and to have your presentation.
So hello, I'm Phil Packer. I'm the innovation lead for AMR and vaccines at Innovate UK. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Innovate UK, a bit about what we're trying to do globally, and we'll feed into what everybody else is going to talk to you about the actual mission in itself. While I remember, Holly, I would love to talk to you about your vaccine side, because that's the other side of my my portfolio. So we'll do that when we meet in a couple of weeks' time. So next slide, please. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Innovate UK. So Innovate UK is part of what is UK Research and Innovation, or UKRI. And we basically work with government to invest over £7 billion a year in research and innovation in the UK. And we partner with academia and with businesses to do that, with the aim to make the impossible possible. So within UKRI, there are 9 organisations, and you can see them flashing up there. Most of them are based around earlier research and work with academia, whereas Innovate UK is more works with business to drive productivity and economic growth by supporting businesses to develop new ideas. So we are the business side of the UKRI. So if I can go on to the next slide, please. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit more information about Innovate UK. So we're essentially the innovation arm of the UK government, and we are there to help to deliver the government's industrial strategy within the UK, and with the target of building up R&D expenditure to reach 2.4% of GDP in the future. And so we act as the transformative agent of change in the UK economy by what we do is accelerating productivity and drive disruptive innovation. And we do this in a number of ways. We support businesses essentially, and we can do this with any size of business, but we are mainly interested in spin-outs and startup companies who particularly have the ambition to grow and scale up, etc. And through this, the whole idea is to get them into the global market and to therefore to improve the economy within the UK. Having said that, we do a lot of work with bigger companies as well. So we're really aimed at translating or the transition of research from the research base in academia and taking it into business. So we're the business side of things. So I will go on to the next slide, please. So as part of our work, we also have a global policy in a little bit more detail, and I'm going to go talk about this in a little bit more detail now. So basically, we're trying to grow and scale up companies, as I've said, and it's obvious to do this, we need to get the best information and knowledge. And to do this, realistically, people have got to work in partnerships, and this is not only within the UK, but globally, and this is very important to expand the businesses to support growth in the UK. Now, I'll talk about global expert missions and the Global Business Innovation Programme in a minute and how that all fits together. But there are a couple of other areas, just so you know, that we work on in the global side of things. And those include bilateral and multilateral funding programs, such as these are European things, the Eureka, for example, and then the Newton Fund and the Global Challenge Research Fund. And we also do work on separate standalone bilateral partnerships with different nations on different topics. And we also are still working involved in Horizon 2020, and we have national contact points in relation to that. We work with Enterprise Europe Network, and we also work with the Knowledge Transfer Network. And we have an innovation office in Brussels. If you want to know anything more about that, talk to me at some other point. So if I go on to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about how we set things up in terms of global missions, shall I say. So essentially, to date, all our missions have been external. And what I mean by that is we've gone to other countries, and I'll go through that process now, and you'll see how the innovation mission into the UK is slightly the opposite way around to where we normally do things. So normally what we do is we do some scoping work to find out which countries we should be working with in a particular technical area. So in my view, it would be AMR. And then we will shortlist a number of countries we might want to then work with. We then will go on a series of global expert missions to selected countries to find out a little bit more. And we take 6 to 8 experts to have a bit of a scoping exercise to find out what the business opportunities are out there, the technical expertise, and how we might want to collaborate with that country in the future. Once we've done that, and if that is successful, and we've done one of those to Germany in the past, which is quite successful, and we'll be following on with that with a global business innovation program, not in the near future. The reason we haven't done that recently is obviously because of the pandemic. But so what a global business innovation program is this is where we take about 15 companies over to a particular country to explore opportunities and to build collaborations in much more detail and to build partnerships. And essentially, this is to get things ready. It takes about 3 stages. We get ready, we visit the market, and then we hopefully exploit the opportunity. So I've said in this case, the inward mission is this, but it's coming inward into the country. So we're bringing foreign innovators into the UK to meet UK companies. So in the normal way of doing things, we can then do various things. We might set up a global incubator in a different country to try and help partnerships. That's obviously something we can't quite do with this program. But we also like to set up bilateral and multilateral R&D programs where we can. And of course, that depends on funding in the future, not just within the UK, but with the countries we might want to partner with. So that's the Innovate UK for you. I'm just going to have another slide to tell you all that you know already. So on the next slide, it just tells you a little bit about the inward mission before other people talk about it in detail. So we're trying to address AMR, to try to curb this globally. And as I've said, we need to try and do this by joint working. And we're looking at every area of AMR on this mission, whether it's R&D, translational research, clinical development, validation, animal models, infection prevention, control, vaccines, whatever, diagnostics. And I say we're trying to join up, do some collaboration as a result of that. So it's open to, for the inward mission, the inward organizations are mainly startups, SMEs and multinational organizations. And also we do have some research institutes as well. Whereas in the UK, it's, again, we're focusing on businesses, but there may be some academics there and people who work in the health service. So this mission is being arranged by AMR Insights, which is Martin, and it's done in collaboration with Innovate Edge, and you'll hear from Craig and Vita in a few minutes from Oxford Innovation. And at that point, I'm going to stop and let somebody else talk a little bit more, and I'll answer questions now or at the end if you want to ask me anything following on from what I've said. Thank you.
Thank you for your strategic perspective from Innovate UK. Are there any questions you want to raise now, Leon or Howley? And if not, then we continue the program. So the next few minutes is on the background and the objectives of submission. So what I said, I represent AMR Insights, and actually our core activities are to inform professionals by means of a newsletter, by means of an information platform, educate, AMR masterclasses, and connect professionals by organizing international matchmaking symposia, 2 per year, one in June on the use of data technologies to corner antimicrobial resistance, and one in November on upcoming antimicrobials and diagnostics in AMR. And of course, also by organizing together with Innovate UK and Innovate UK Edge, the AMR Innovation Missions. This year to the United Kingdom. This is a rotating program, so in the coming years there will also be other countries, including coming year probably Sweden. Well, antimicrobial resistance is probably very familiar with you. I would like to quote the recent publication in The Lancet in January of this year, the GRAM project, the GRAM paper, saying that well, the estimated number of associated deaths with AMR in 2019 is about 4.9 million. So let's say 5 million deaths per year. So, well, this is, well, as we all know, a very, well, an enormous challenge, and the problem is escalating. And for that reason also, as we all know, WHO considers AMR as well, one of the biggest global threats to health and food safety. And combating AMR, curbing AMR, well, really demands for international collaboration, starting from the One Health concept. There are different strategies to curb antimicrobial resistance, better prevention, vaccines, washing your hands, of course, antibiotic stewardship, as discussed already, but also reducing antimicrobials in wastewater from hospitals and also from manufacturing plants, having better diagnostics in place, and also encouraging the use of diagnostic tools. We do need novel antibiotics and novel other antimicrobials, and also, of course, alternative strategies such as phage therapy. Basically, all these key strategies are the topic of the upcoming mission, and we cover the entire value chain, so from early research up to and including market introduction. The objectives are, well, clearly to boost the joint innovation and global collaboration to curb AMR. Also, we're exploiting the full One Health spectrum, environmental health, human health, animal health. And also we'll leverage and make use of the AMR knowledge, expertise, and infrastructure in the United Kingdom. And the UK is clearly a powerhouse when it comes to AMR. I'm from the Netherlands, as most of you know. I'm really very much impressed by what's done within the UK, but also outside the UK, and paid by the UK, initiated by the UK, when it comes to curbing antimicrobial resistance. And this slide provides you an overview of the companies and also some other organizations in the UK involved in curbing AMR. And I know that many of them, if not all of them, will also attend join the mission. And I very much hope that there will be, well, fruitful discussion between your companies and also these UK companies. It's of course of relevance to maximize the output of the mission, also for the overseas companies, for the non-UK companies. You're spending a lot of money and time to get involved in this mission. So I would clearly recommend make yourself visible at B2Match, make up your profile as extensive as possible, and also actively engage in the matchmaking program. There will be ample time for matchmaking sessions, and matchmake with UK companies, but also, of course, with non-UK companies, your colleague, foreign companies, overseas companies. Then also, well, yeah, meet a new organization during the social programs, the panel discussions, the train travels. It will be train, not bus. The dinners we're having, and also, well, yeah, we encourage you to actively follow up with new contacts after the mission. This may sound also very obvious to you, but anyhow, I would like to mention it. This is an overview of the participating overseas non-UK companies, and as you can see, these are coming from the United States, Europe, and Asia, including, well, the mid-Asia and also far away Asia. Most of them companies, but also some non-commercial organizations. And yeah, we look very much forward to, well, actively involving all these companies and organizations during the mission. The most important website for the mission is the website on AMR Insights. There's also there is also information available about the program on the B2Match website. But the website on AMR Insights is by far the most complete, and especially the program is the program on the website is the most actual, the most up-to-date program, and also should be considered as the backbone for the mission. But there's much more to find about also the AMR teams. We are covering how to register, information about the participants, information about the matchmaking process. We have 3 thematic champions, 3 UK experts on AMR, one on vaccines, one on diagnostics, and one on antimicrobials. And there's also information about background information about them. These 3 people will also give a keynote lecture during the mission. There's an international advisory board. There's information about the AMR hotspots in the UK, videos, photos, texts, and also the FAQ part, the frequently asked questions. So I encourage you to take a few minutes to glance through the website. This is my part of the presentation. I would like now to hand over to Greg, who will tell more about the program. Greg, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Martin. So if you just go to the next slide. So I mean, it's perfect. We had a call just sort of finalising the agenda and stuff a couple of hours ago, and yeah, I hope you think it's pretty good. We're pretty pleased with it. So anyway, my section here is really just to talk a little bit about Innovate UK Edge, because we're probably going to be your go-to people whilst on the mission itself if you've got any issues or anything like that. I'll talk through what the program is, so this is what you're going to be doing, and also obviously things like costs are important, so it's what's covered, what's not covered, and that sort of thing. So if you go to the next slide, Martin.
Can you see the next slide, Greg?
So firstly, who are this slide is it? So yeah, who's Innovate UK Edge? So we are the business support arm, that's how I like to think of it, of Innovate UK. So what we do is Innovate UK invests lots, I say invests, gives grants to lots of small innovative businesses, primarily, and we're here to help those companies grow, either through coaching or through taking more actions like this, or introducing them to investors. But it's all about understanding where the barriers are to growth for the high growth companies that Innovate UK has sort of identified, and then making sure that they grow quickly and sustainably as possible. So yeah, we do this through a number of methods, and Phil's already sort of talked you through the Global Business Innovation Programme. So yeah, if we just move on to the next slide. Yeah, my face is cutting off the word team there, but effectively there's going to be 2 of us who are going out with you all. So it'll be myself and Peter. As I say, we'll be the ones who will help you with sort of making sure we all get on trains, move around between all the venues, back to the hotels, sort of booking dinners and that sort of thing. Next slide. So in terms of what's going to be happening on each day, I'm going to make the assumption that everyone is arriving on the Sunday, and then you will make your own way through to one of the hotels. We have a list of hotels that Martin will be circulating, hopefully, if not today, oh no, Beta's going to circulate it, sorry, isn't she? I can't remember who said it, but yeah, we've got a list of hotels and somebody's gonna send those around. So yeah, everyone's gonna arrive on the Sunday, and then on the Monday you'll be collected from your hotel by taxi and taken to Harwell. So the Monday will be spent at Harwell. I'll talk a little bit about it afterwards, and then in the evening it's back to the hotels, the ones that we selected. There's two options, depending on sort of how much you want to spend. The courtyard south is a Marriott. They do food as well, so we're going to have dinner there, and that's all been booked. On the Tuesday, we've actually got a little bit of time, so we thought we would, seeing as we're in Oxford, we would actually let you see Oxford. So we're going to go into Oxford. We'll sort of leave our luggage, and then there'll be a tour of the universities, and then we'll go punting, which is what that boat is there. So try not to get too wet, because then in the afternoon we've got the train journey up to Macclesfield, and then transfer to Alderley Edge, which is where the hotels are there. So yeah, go out for dinner that evening, and then on the Wednesday is the main event at Alderley Park. So again, it's a relatively, I'm going to say relatively early start. It's not too bad. About 8:30ish. Get picked up and go to Alderley Park, and then the full event is there all day. And in the evening, there's a really nice restaurant pub place actually on site that we have a table booked for. Thursday is travel day. I realize I'm talking to at least one American who's probably going to say, wow, a 4.5-hour train journey is not that far. But, you know, for me, it feels like it's a long way. So we're going to be going from Macclesfield up to Edinburgh by train. It's lovely. It's going to take us right into the middle of Edinburgh. And from there, we're then going to have dinner. But also, because of sort of the time we arrive, you can check into sort of a hotel. It's the venue's really central for Friday, so you can maybe go and explore a little bit, or just go and catch up with some emails in your hotel rooms, whatever you decide. As I say, we are going to do a group dinner, along with the speakers who are going to be there on the Friday. And then on the Friday, it's the final day. So sort of the event during the day, and then we will say goodbye in the afternoon. The way that that the program has been organised is exactly the same for each event. So in the mornings, we're going to have speakers, and the speakers have been intentionally selected to represent large multinationals. We've got UK SMEs, we've got academics, and I suppose trying to sort of showcase the latest research, all to give you a good, not only flavour of what there is, but also hopefully find someone who at least interests you in wanting to go and speak to afterwards. In the afternoon, it's about matchmaking. Harwell and Alderley Park do include tours. So Harwell has the UK's only synchrotron, and not only which you can have a tour of if you like, and not only that, there is also at Alderley Park a tour of their facilities too. But yeah, so morning is the I suppose presentations, then we've got tours and lunch, and then in the afternoon it's about matchmaking. So we've got a good number of UK companies. We've tried to be really selective about which UK companies come so that you're not overwhelmed. There's nobody here who's going to be trying to sell you anything per se. It's all looking at companies that you would hopefully like to partner with or would like more information from. And all of that information is on BetaMatch. Next slide, Martin. So just looking at Harwell and Alderley Park first. So they are two of the UK's largest science parks. So Harwell, which is in that picture there, and you can see the synchrotron, which is the big circle, which is about a mile to walk all the way around. It's about 6,000 people, and the idea is that it brings scientists, engineers, innovators, government, policymakers all together in one location across some of the key sectors that I suppose the UK thinks it needs, but also that are, I suppose, pertinent for the world. So most of these are sort of space. So the Satellite Applications Catapult, which I suppose is the UK's hub for space technologies, is based at Harwell. We do a lot on clean energy, health tech, obviously, which is why we're doing. The synchrotron is and Diamond Light is where they did a lot of research into COVID to look at what the virus looked like, what its genetic code looked like, and then sort of put it out there with ways that to look for drugs that could, I suppose, break it. I don't know. It's one of the presentations that they're covering, and also quantum as well, which is obviously an area that's not particularly well defined yet, but is sort of seen as a growth sector. Alderley Park is an internationally recognised bioscience campus. It's probably got more health technologies than companies than any other science park in the UK, and also, I mean, you'll get a tour of there, but has thousands of people who work there. Next slide. So this is an aerial view of some of Alderley Park. Because these are secure sites, we need to make sure that everyone who attends, we give the security full name, affiliation, and email addresses. We'll be taking this from BetaMatch, so that's why it's really important that everyone signed up to BetaMatch, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to give this information across. Everyone will need certainly for Harwell, like there's big burly security officers, so everyone needs to take ID with them. It's all checked. As I say, it is a secure site that we're going on to, and also things like, especially with the tours, in terms of accessibility, there's different options that are available. So if anyone has any accessibility issues, or doesn't want to walk a great deal but still wants to see some of the site, please let us know beforehand. In terms of footwear, it's not always the most even ground, so I wouldn't recommend heels for either, for any of the sites that you go to. Might not be much of an impact for the two of you on this call, but you never know. And for dietary requirements, again, just let us know if there's anything that you don't eat, or something like that, because again, we're catering for these events, so we need to make sure that we've got food that you will enjoy. Next slide. Also then looking at Edinburgh, so as I say, Edinburgh's where we're going to on the last day. It's the home of the Antimicrobial Resistance Forum, which showcases internet sort of partners. So a number of them are going to be there today, not today, on the Friday, as well as being, I suppose, a hub in the capital of Scotland. So it's sort of a natural place to bring as many Scottish SMEs as we can, that we think are relevant. The event here takes place in a beautiful hotel, which is great in that you won't need any ID to get in, and also means that with the hotel pack, if you choose to stay there, and it's a Hilton, then you don't have very far to walk. But if not, then there's lots of other hotels round about. And then, yeah, on the Friday, the event will finish about 5 o'clock at the latest, depending on how many matchmaking sessions you have. And then it's an easy tram ride, or bus ride actually, back to the airport. It's super easy, so it's all good. Next slide. So just looking at what Innovate UK is covering, so because obviously this is quite important. So really it's everything that's in the purple box that are sort of listed here. So we're taking you to the events. So we'll do all the transport, so taxis, train journeys, anything like that. We will organise and pick up the costs for. The events themselves, you don't have any charges or anything else for coming to them. The big burly security officers aren't going to try and get any money off you. We're sort of covering everything. And all the dinners in the evening as well. The 4 dinners on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we are taken care of. So if you go to the next slide. Oh, sorry. Yes, if you go to the next slide, yeah, this just sort of spells it out in more detail. So the event costs, so all the events have lunches that are attached to them. We've got the but also teas and coffees and, as I say, access to the sites themselves. The transport, trains, taxis, which should be everything on the Monday to Thursday. Then the dinners that we're having out all together, and also the activity in Oxford as well. We're covering that, which just leaves a few things that we're not covering. If you go to the next slide, Martin, and these are really for legal reasons as much as anything else. So it's the hotels. So as I say, there is now a list of hotels that we're sending out. It includes, I suppose, the more expensive options and the cheaper options, so you can pick which suits you. All the hotels are close together, so it won't affect sort of the quality of your stay from that point of view. Maybe just how many feathers are in the bed. We're not providing breakfast, but you would only get that with the hotel. And also lunch on the Tuesday and Thursday. So on the Tuesday, our activity in Oxford is from about 10 till just after 12, and our train is at 2:30. We're right in the middle of Oxford, so people are more than welcome to. We've got lovely sort of cafes and restaurants, or if you just want to get a packet sandwich from a shop, that's absolutely fine. So you can go and stay with us, or if you, I work in Oxford, so we can sort of go and have a look at some of the architecture together or anything like that for the train. And then on the Thursday, we're not covering that either, but we're going to be spending lots of time on the train, so that's something we can just pick up from the train station or something like that. Does all of that make sense? I see nods. So, okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. As I say, Beta and I are here to sort of look after you on the day-to-day side. So if you've got any questions or queries either before or after, please let us know. Also, Martin is going to set up a WhatsApp group. So you'll be invited to join the WhatsApp group. Please join it. It means that sort of we can sort of all be texting each other if about meetups and things like that. It also means that if you get lost, that A, you can message us, and B, I can get you to turn on your location settings and come and find you. So we'll we'll do that. Beta's going to talk about Beta Match. I just want to say, reiterate again, please sign up to Beta Match. It's the only way I'm going to know that you're definitely coming when for giving the information across. Also, it's the only way any of the UK companies are going to know that you're coming as well. So yeah, please make sure you sign up to that.
Greg, thanks very much for your introduction to the exciting program we are facing. Now I would like to hand over to Beta, because she will tell more about the matchmaking program and the Beta Match platform. Beta, over to you.
Thank you, Martin. Well, I can see that Leon is already signed up to Beta Match. That means, Holly, I'm going to ask you to please sign up as soon as you can. I'm going to share the link in the message box here. Can we go to the next slide, please, Martin? I think everyone knows who I am by now. It's pretty straightforward, very user-friendly platform. It'll ask you a few questions about who you are, and it asks you to create a profile. If you have any questions, Holly, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you. Can we move to the next slide, Martin? Thank you. Now, the most important part, as Martin has emphasized, and so has Craig, is the matchmaking events. Please utilize that because what we try to do with this mission is to boost the international collaboration, and using the B2Match platform is the best way of doing it. Bear in mind that our UK companies will not be present throughout the whole week. Certain companies will be at certain locations during the event days. So make sure that you identify who you want to speak with and request a meeting with that person, which you can do on the B2Match. Basically, what you do, you identify who you want to see. You can search by organization or by the person's name. You'll see a little box next to their name where you can request a meeting. When you press on that, it brings you onto that slide where you can pop up a little message saying that I want to connect with you, or say reasons as to why you would like to see them, and press send. that person will receive a little alert saying that this particular person wants to speak to them, and you can then decide on the time as to when you want to have a conversation. All conversations and meetings will be face-to-face at different locations. You, as I said, you decide on the time. Normally they're held between 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to share the link here for you, Holly. Yeah, as we said throughout the whole session today, please make sure that you do that as soon as possible. If there are any difficulties, or if you have any questions, need any help, please reach out to any of us. We're more than happy to help you. And I think that's all from me. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you. It's clear.
Perfect.
Thanks very much, Bita, and for your introduction to the matchmaking and the matchmaking platform. Please note that you can find on B2Match the profiles of the non-UK companies, your companies, but also, of course, the UK companies, but also the organizing companies such as organizations, Innovate UK, AMR Insights, and also representatives of elderly parks. You can also schedule meetings with them, obviously. I also see that I think we can now also welcome two other guests. Chun, a colleague from Leon, I think. Chun, welcome to this meeting as well.
Yes.
Hello again. This time, this time on my schedule.
Yeah.
California.
Okay, we have had a sort of a short welcome to this meeting. First of all, great that you can make time available. We had a sort of a short introductory round. Maybe you can also add a few words about yourself to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. It's Chun Wong, the president of Asolva. We make antibiotic stewardship software. Come to you from California, USA.
Yeah, thank you. We've made a recording of this meeting, so you can, if you wanted, you can also enjoy the entire session again. We are coming almost to an end of this session. Some miscellaneous small point, including that if you want to pay attention to tribute attention to the mission on social media, then please use the hashtag AMR Mission UK. We have separate contact persons for Innovate UK. That's Phil Packer with the email address. For Innovate UK Edge, it's Craig, and for AMR Insights, you can always contact me. We will also mention, no, first of all, you will get a sort of overall briefing coming week by email. And in that briefing, we also mentioned that there will be one or two contact persons for emergency cases. So if something goes wrong or whatever, then you can contact him or her. I also would like to mention the role of the regional coordinators, representatives of Elderly Park, of Scottish Enterprise. These may also be very valuable organizations for you. For instance, if you are considering to set up an office in the UK, and then you can also actually deal with these organizations. We are coming to an end of the presentations. The last point is the Q&A session. Are there any questions, remarks, suggestions?
Just wanted to confirm that I think logistics-wise, the hotel list will be coming out soon.
Yeah, so I sent the hotel list across to Martin and Bita earlier. So because they've got all of the participants' details, so they will be circulating.
Okay, perfect. Look forward to that.
Any other questions? Maybe by you, Leon, or by Holly?
I'm good,
You
thank you.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
I have
Then we can round off this this session. Thanks for making time available. I think on behalf of Innovate UK and Innovate UK Edge, I mean, we look very much forward to welcoming you on 15 May in Oxford. and have a sort of a great week with you. And we also we obviously hope that this will generate a lot of business collaborations and other ways to add to the curbing of antimicrobial resistance. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and
Thank you.
look forward to speaking to you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.